Well, look at this. Good morning. Or should I say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all between the binary. This is Get Informed with Waji. I'm Waji Lion. Thank you so much for tuning in. What do you know about the Saudi American relations? A relationship that went back all the way from King Abdulaziz. When President Roosevelt, like the Saudi like to enunciate his name. President Roosevelt. Roosevelt. In English, Roosevelt. Yep, Roosevelt. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. I'll let everyone come in, give you guys a minute. I see we have 37 people. If we have 37 people share this live stream, I would be grateful. If every person just shares this live stream for a second, we would have this moving on. Closer we are to 100, the better. I feel like people ask me to repeat myself or ask me to say things that I have said in the beginning of the podcast. And it would be better if we invite, do a little chit chat first. I am well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. Let me know if you're here. Say hi. Didn't a helicopter fall out from the U.S. general? So someone is asking something about what does it say? I missed it. Well, hello, Canada, Pittsburgh. You're a teacher on a summer break. Love listening. Thank you. Are you building our private library today? Listen, I don't have money to buy the books to build a library at the moment. I am not wealthy. I grew up wealthy, but I solely depend on your support. So no, at the moment we don't have the funds to have a library, and I personally would love to have my own, uh, house built out of stone, like the old days, built out of stone in the Syrian way, and also have the latest technology. I want it to be between modern technology, but absolute cultural heritage. And when it comes to Syria, so I want to achieve both at the same time. That's my dream. What if I become a millionaire, build my own house? That would be the kind of house I would build. So in the middle, I would have a courtyard with with the ceiling glass that opens and closes depending on the weather. I would have a seating in that courtyard that would be, depending on the weather, whether it's there or not. There would be a water fountain, an old olive tree, The shit that makes a magical home actually magical. I feel like the houses in modern days are losing a touch of magic. And I feel that, every time I went to a historical Syrian house, or every time I see one, the inspiration comes out. So yeah, I like the idea of having, a house that is open when you go inside of it, but it's not open on the outside. Like the house is when the house is courtyard style, you think from the outside it's very close. But once you enter, if the house is designed correctly, you'll notice all of a sudden it is actually very open. So I love the idea of having an open concept. Meanwhile, at the moment, it feels like the house is usually very closed in. I am an old soul with love for technology. What can I say? Can you have both? I don't know. But yeah, we need to at least start getting the computer and the desktop for the podcast at least before I build the library. Oh, of course I am homesick. I would be lying if I didn't say I'm homesick. I am homesick for the culture. I'm homesick for the food. I'm homesick for the people. Um, but you know, you have to choose when you can travel and when you can't, and where. Someone in my situation, as long as I'm not a U.S. diplomat representing the U.S. government in one way or another, if I step foot in the Middle East, I'm considered a dead man in so many ways. So there's just no way I can go there without being a diplomat at the moment. At least that's what I think. Because Saudi Arabia makes it hard for you to give up your citizenship, your Saudi citizenship, but sometimes they allow you to give it up somehow once they get in deep shit with you and you both fight and they put you in a political prison and you're like, I have a US citizenship. You need to let me go. They're like, then you need to let go of your Saudi citizenship. They're like, well, shit, I don't want this citizenship. I don't want to be in this little prison. Yeah, no, I'll go to the United States or I'll go to Germany if you're German. I know of someone. One time, this person criticized the food at a Saudi embassy somewhere across the world. I'm not giving specifics. This person returns back to Saudi. All of a sudden, they get arrested. They get the chance to get the request uh, from the king to give them a decree, a forgiveness decree from the king. And yes, there has been someone in the government that didn't want to even accept the king's decree of forgiveness and kept bringing their case up. One time, this person had enough. They're like, so they were sitting them down and they're like asking them a whole bunch of questions. Aren't your origins from that country, not from the Saudi? And once they hit that nerve that aren't you're not even real Saudi, are you? So that really hit a nerve at that point, and like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I am not Saudi, and even this, my DNA says I'm an Ashkenazi Jew. And if I wanted an Israeli citizenship, I can get one. And you know what? I have a citizenship from another country, and I can denounce your stupid citizenship, and I can take my other citizenship. All of a sudden, the Saudis are looking at each other and going, oh shit, we don't want any of this shit. They marked this person as unstable and let them go. If you notice, I have not mentioned a name. I have not mentioned a gender. I have not mentioned uh, ethnicity. I have not mentioned other than that Ashkenazi Jew, because without it, you would understand the story. And the other citizenship, you don't even know what it is. That's on purpose. That's on purpose. Giving extra details wouldn't be confidential, would break the confidentiality. So they marked this person as mentally unstable and pulled out this lawsuit away from this person. Now, I don't know if you know, but Saudi Arabia recently arrested a Western tourists for taking a video. Didn't I tell you that I fear that one day if you Westerners come to Saudi Arabia, you would do a stupid mistake for some reason or something you have done or said that would upset the Saudi government, and then you would pay the hefty price of going into a Saudi prison cell. And I would like to inform you that rape in the Saudi prison cell is very common, believe it or not. I hope you had a chance to read my article from this morning. If you haven't, I published two articles. One is based on a CBS documentary. The documentary is about an hour long, an hour and a half long. I recommend that you watch that documentary before you read my other article. Watch the documentary, get some basic information, and then enter into the nitty gritty with the longer article that I have published earlier this morning about the fallout relations between the Saudi government and Trump. But I'm not done here. I wish I brought more water. Let me grab something to drink. So let me do one thing here real quick. Thank you, Teresa. He's a good man. Minnesota is proud of him. Oh, thank you. I still need to meet the people of Minnesota, more of the people of Minnesota. The problem with my work is that I tend to be home all the time, but I would like to do something where I go on the streets of America and interview everyday Americans. I would love to, yeah, go across and just interview Americans, what they think about the economy, how they feel about the political situation, and see if we can have dialogue with people that are hard to have dialogue with. You know, like go outside of rallies or go outside of bars or go outside of games and just talk to people and see if they're interested in filming it. It's very ballsy, but the thing about sitting home and writing articles all day is that you don't get to leave the house. Um, so nice thing about the going back to college is that you force yourself to get to know people. You force yourself to get out of your comfort zone. You force yourself to socialize. And I thought, that's the next step that I need. COVID really screwed up my social circle. Oh, the chat. I apologize. We have reached 100. That's awesome. Let's go back to February 28th, 2026, when the United States and Israel conducted Operation Epic Fury and Roaring Lion, right? Why is my throat scratchy? They have executed nearly 900 joint strikes against Iranian missiles, infrastructure, and air defense air defense within a 12-hour window. But that didn't do shit. The operation featured a successful decapitation strike with the assassination of the leader Ali Khamenei alongside top Iranian officials. Also killed the mother, the wife, and the daughter, and the father of the current supreme leader, Mustafa Khamenei. American strategic planning fatally assumed this strike would induce immediate regime paralysis. Paraly- pa- pa- Paralysis. Failure, government failure. I hate enunciating English. Paralysis. Yes, paralysis. They thought they would paralyze. Oh, paralyze. Yes, how you said. Is that it? Paralysis. No, regime paralysis. Enunciating English is not fun. Instead, we did not destroy the Iranian government. The Iranian people, so paralysis. Thank you. You should hear my Arabic. So, Americans' strategic planning mismeasured their assumptions of being able to destroy the Iranian government. Instead, the actions entered into a 53-day retaliatory campaign that was orchestrated by a de facto leader in the Iranian military. This 53-day conflict fractured the fundamental assumption of Middle East security regarding the absolute reliability of American defense umbrella. I've told you this many times. The relationship between the Saudis, Gulf states, and the Americans, even though it goes back all the way to King Abdulaziz and President Roosevelt, like the Saudis like to enunciate his name. President Roosevelt came with the military ship and arrived at a port in Saudi Arabia, where King Abdulaziz met him in that ship. U.S. President gifted him a wheelchair because King Abdulaziz at the time was getting old and sick and he needed a wheelchair. So the United States gifted him a wheelchair because Roosevelt was also using a wheelchair. So the relationship started, growing deeply since that meeting. Yes, he had a spare. Since that meeting and the Saudi American relationship has been close, but if I'm being honest, It was mostly transactional. It was based on trust, but transaction is also based on trust. So when we have a relationship that's based on transaction, once you stop fulfilling your part of that transaction, you become worthless to me in many ways. Trump entered this war, and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was also delusioned that Trump could decapitate the Iranian regime once he started this war. Crown Prince at the beginning didn't know the war was happening, but once it happened, he was calling the president nonstop, asking him to make sure to decimate the Iranian regime. But quickly realized once they started being attacked by Iran that the United States only used their weapons or their air defense missiles to protect only their military bases and Israel. Saudis went basically, the fuck? Wait a minute. What do you mean? You said you would protect me. I paid you for that. We have an alliance. I thought we are in it together. I'm allowing you to use my bases. I'm allowing you to use my airspace. I'm allowing you to conduct this war. And you did not protect my ass. So that relation started going sour. So technically, this continuous 50-day conflict fractured the fundamental assumption of Middle Eastern security regarding the absolute reliability of American defense umbrella. We had asymmetric cost, imposition, and global economic stocks. And there are a few points that I'd like to discuss, mainly 7 points. So on March 2nd, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy blockade the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point where 25% of global seaborne oil and 20% of liquefied natural gas pass through every day. Iran enforced this blockade through swarm of 500 to 1,000 fast attack speedboats, anti-ship cruise missiles, naval mines, satellite spoofing, and GNSS jamming. The Iranian commercial transit plummeted by 95%. Within days, standing approximately 20,000 maritimes and 2,000 ships. So about 20,000 people were stuck, and around 2,000 ships was stuck. Iran and its proxy forces, I would like to say more its allies, struck over 40 energy assets across 9 countries, inflicting severe damages on facilities such as Saudi Arabia, Ras Tanura Petroleum Complex, and UAE Habshan Gas Complex. That's when you actually see the difference and reaction between the Saudis and the Emiratis. This keeps tilting for some reason, so I'm gonna fix it. So the difference in reactions between the Saudis and the Emiratis was focused mostly on how the Saudis started looking for help from other countries like Ukraine, Italy, United Kingdom, Germany, France, any Ukraine, any country that they can ask for help and create a military contract with, they did. They also called on their Iranian nuclear umbrella to activate since they have been attacked, and Saudi Arabia has a agreement with Pakistan that they would be protected under Pakistan nuclear umbrella. So since then, Pakistan have moved several of its air fleet jets into the kingdom, and you see UAE really leaning into Israel, asking Israel to step in, getting the Iron Dome, getting the other thing, the other one. What is it called? Uh, the other one. Oh my God, my memory is not serving me today. The other thing that the Israelis do, I don't know. So they had two different types of batteries, one for long range missiles, one for short range missiles and drones. And they're very expensive. And they had the Israelis operating them inside of UAE. Meanwhile, you had the Saudis having the bringing in the Ukrainians, looking for a more costly, uh, more cost efficient solutions. You saw the UAE splitting from the OPEC, but I'll discuss that later. You saw the actual drift between Saudi and the UAE play a part. Saudi Arabia and the UAE has been having their own conflict. I should write you guys an article about that sometime, maybe today or tomorrow. And they have been having their own conflict. Started in Yemen, I believe, where they started both on the same page, but they both ended up supporting two different factions at the end who are opposed to each other. And at some point, the Saudis just attacked the Emiratis in Yemen, and the Emiratis technically pulled out of the war in Yemen, and it was at a free fall since then. Also, the fact that the Emiratis have signed the Abrahamic Accord makes Saudi Arabia have to criticize them in public more and more. The Emiratis have been trying to sell more oil because their cost ratio to production is way cheaper than the Saudis. The Saudis, they need the oil to be at $111 a barrel in order to be able to fund its 2030 projects. Meanwhile, UAE doesn't have a 2030 project. So they're good with having the oil barrels at $40 a barrel, and they're making a profit by then. It gives you a big contrast of the difference. So the UAE has been trying to sell more oil. The Saudis haven't been letting them do so. So they pulled out of the UAE, pulled out of OPEC. Meanwhile, the International Energy Agency designated the disruption of up to 20 million barrels per day as the latest oil shock in history. Brent crude experienced a historic 55% monthly surge, peaking to $119 per barrel in March. War risk premiums for maritime ships pushed the tanker day rates to an unprecedented record of 424 400,000 424,000 per day. That's quite expensive if you're a ship. A lot of these ships, operate on the margins. They don't make a lot of money. So when you have these things becoming that expensive, $424,000 per day, almost a half a million just for the insurance. No gas, no operation cost, no wages, no maintenance, just the insurance. And then at some point they cut it all off. They said we're not even offering. Fearing devastating Iranian retaliatory strikes on its energy grid, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman formally refused U.S. bases and airspace access, forcing missions to abort on May 5th of 2026. The Trump administration uh, was very pissed off with the Crown Prince and threatened that they would hold back the Patriot and THAAD and missiles defense from the Saudi government if they don't allow the Americans to use their air base again. So Trump and his blackmail never ends. The Saudis depend on Patriot and THAAD missiles to protect the country. So they quietly let the Americans use again their airspace and that still makes them a target of Iran. So, March 27, there's another thing that happened that really put everything else into perspective. At a future investment initiative that was happening in Miami, President Trump appeared in front of the whole Saudi crowd, uh, and humiliated the king in a room full of Saudi billionaires and investors who came to invest in the United States. This public humiliation severely damaged the cultural concept of scared honor within the House of Saud, penalizing corporation with Washington and incentivizing Riyadh to seek alternative security partners. The United States is publicly coming out and breaking all the culture norms that the Saudis have, disrespecting all the protocols, and publicly humiliating the king in front of his biggest, wealthiest investors. That does not put the United States in a good position. So, what you guys say, ird is actually pronounced ard, and sharaf is. So, ird in the Bedouin, ard in the Bedouin honor code for women and men is born with their ard intact, but sexual. Uh, I'm trying to translate here. Sexual transgression can take it away. It is different from uh, so like your ard in Arabic means your private parts, and when that's like if the pure definition of the word ard, but the ard in the Bedouin honor code, it's like the difference between ard and sharaf. Sharaf means honor. So my honor is general Bedouin code for men. It can be acquired um, through your manhood, through your actions and your nobility and your kindness and your generosity. But also, it is how you present yourself to the world. So when your honor is disrespected, that is very offensive. Now, when your ard is disrespected, that is another level because ard is usually a Bedouin code of honor for women. And even though men also have ard, it 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 has more an intimate level of you are fucking me over. Like if you disrespect my ard, like بعرضك, some people like tells you to swear by your ard, and they mean that by your family member, by your by your daughters, by your woman, by your uh uh let me see another way to describe this. It's a concept that you guys don't necessarily have or is not so al-ard is they're both a type of honor. They're both a type of way to describe a level of honor that you have, a level of dignity that you have, right? So al-ard is a protected aspect. This refers to a person moral character, self moral and reputation, the that protects them from tarnishing. It's based on Islamic ideology, and it's one of the five things that Muslims must protect. Your ard is your genitalia, your ard is your family members, and other stuff like that. Sharaf also has to do with your reputation, but this has nothing to do necessarily with it is how you adhere to the principles, how you show your trust to society, and how that honor encompasses trustworthiness, honesty, courage, and charity. So one is very, very personal, and the other one is very, very public. And when you violate my ard, you violated the most sacred thing you could violate. So Trump went out and made fun of the crown prince, and he said he didn't think he would have to kiss my ass. The fact that he said kiss my ass has many, many problems. First of all, he said ass, not kiss my hand, not kiss my nose, not kiss my head, because those are all things that we say to show that you are having to respect me and bow to me with honor. You kiss my hand, you're kissing it without having to lose your honor. You kiss my head without you having to lose my honor. You kiss my shoulder without you having to lose your honor. But you come and you have to kiss my ass, you're violating my ard. I hope all of that now makes sense. Oh, I have really bad echo. I'm sorry. So we have and you know when you kiss someone on the cheeks, you're showing that you're equals. When you're kissing each other nose to nose, that is saying that we're both equal. But when you have to kiss my head, when you have to kiss my hand, or when you have to kiss my shoulder, they all have different meaning. You kiss your parents' hand, you kiss your grandparents' hand, you kiss your grandparents' forehead, you kiss your dad's forehead, your mom's forehead. You kiss the sheikh forehead, like the imam. You kiss the sheikh forehead. You kiss a child forehead. That is you showing respect. Now, when you meet a prince, when you meet the crown prince, when you meet the king, you kiss the shoulder or you kiss the hand. Now, you are meeting the king and you're kissing the shoulder or the hand. Imagine you are telling the crown prince you have to kiss my ass. Like, I'm genuinely trying to put this into cultural perspective for you guys to understand. Americans always were confused when I was growing up in the United States and my parents would show up. Every time I would kiss their hand. That was just how I was raised. Publicly, privately, in front of the school, in front of the tribe. It doesn't matter where you are. Those are the rules. We come from culture that is all based on unwritten rules. All of these rules are not written. We don't have a book saying these are cultural rules. These are passed down from generation to generation. So when you defy and disrespect the most important thing, you really are pushing your closest allies away. I don't think Trump meant something by it. And like he was just, oh, I made him kiss my ass. Oh, like I made someone else kiss Marco Rubio had to kiss my ass. I made JD Vance have to kiss my ass. That's just how Trump talks, right? Especially when he has no filter. He just does he has no there's no class. He's our supreme leader. We love him for it. He's the most powerful man in the world. No one is stronger than him. He understands the Constitution better than everyone. But you know, he because he's so strong, because he's so powerful, because he's so beautiful, because he's the chosen one, he doesn't have to pick his words. And because of that, His Majesty sometimes makes mistakes on the world stage, like saying, kiss my ass. I can't believe I took a good 15, 30 minutes explaining all of that. So there's a bilateral realignment now. Ukraine tech and Pakistani deterrence. On March 27, Saudi Arabia and Ukraine signed a 10-year defense cooperation agreement focused on countering Iranian designated Shahed 136 drones. Ukrainian electronic warfare deployed to the Gulf successfully executing real time drone takedowns and preventing advanced satellite imagery analysis. The Saudis wanted something cheap and reliable. The Ukrainians can provide it. Not only they can provide it, they have been using it directly against Shahed drones because Iran has been supplying the Russians with Shahed drones. So the Ukrainians have been fighting the Ukraine war against Russia, and they have been literally developing the technology that needs to be around to defeat the drones that the Iranians are using against these Gulf states. So your obvious solution is to make a phone call and invite the Ukrainians over to make a deal. So the Saudis reciprocated by financing the Ukrainian defense industry and securing a year-long supply of Middle Eastern diesel for Kiev. Our actor that was turned into president in Ukraine, Zelensky, knows how to do business. Motherfucker went to Saudi Arabia. He was short in cash. He was short on funding. He said, I'll help you out. I just need your money. I need your piggy bank. Saudi said, Ala khashmi. That means, don't worry. I got you, buddy. On my nose. Ala khashmi on akhok. Just give me the air defense and bring some of your guys over and I'll get you guys all the diesel you want. You want diesel? You get diesel. What else you want, Habibi? Huh? I'll give you diesel. I'll give you money. I'll give you equip. What else? What else you want? Riyadh adopted a warn, strike, negotiate. Nego- negotiate. A warn, strike, negotiate strategy. That's right. Launching a covert airstrikes into Iran and Iraq territory while maintaining diplomatic channels to establish bilateral rules of engagement. Believe it or not, it wasn't only the Emiratis that engaged on strikes in Iran. The Saudis play dirty. They really know how to play dirty. On public, we and the Iranians are brothers in Islam. We denounce the Iranian attacks and we will have diplomatic talks with the Iranians to figure out solutions. In public, Americans, you are being kicked out. Shh, don't tell anyone. We'll let you in quietly. Shh, shh, don't tell anyone. We are not allowing any Americans in our country. No, 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 no American. Motherfucker, we can see the tracker. No American, no, no American. No Israelis, no Israelis. Bas. You can see Israelis pass through Saudi Arabia. No, 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 no. We did not allow it. Motherfucker, the tracker shows it. So they're allowing the Israelis, they're allowing the the Americans to go. And apparently, covertly, they have been making attacks themselves in Iraq and in Iran. And then they're going to the Iranians, they're like, it wasn't us. We have nothing to do with it. Saudi bipolar leadership is also not helpful. So apparently, to the study, the independent offensive strategy reduced the Iranian drone and missile attacks on Saudi territory by 76% in a single week. By saying, oh, we're not attacking you, oh, we're kicking out the Americans, and covertly doing whatever attacks they want to do, and they're acting like they're the good guys and on the battlefield. They have nothing to do with this issue. The Iranians reduced their attack on Saudi Arabia by 76%. Additionally, they were forced to reduce this because uh, they strengthened their independent posture by invoking the Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement with Pakistan, where Pakistan deployed 8,000 Pakistani troops and fighter jets to the King Abdulaziz Air Base in Saudi Arabia. This is to tell you, there is a couple of things that had to go into this for it to work or reduce the attacks to 76%. But they're still attacked. By 22%. OPEC fracture and fiscal strain. Following military clashes between Saudi Arabia and Emirati forces in Yemen, the United Arab Emirates unilaterally withdrew from OPEC on May 1st, 2026. Possessing a low fiscal break even of $49 a barrel, the UAE defected to fully monetize its 4.85 million barrels uh, production capacity for unconstrained quotas. Saudi Arabia is now burdened by high fiscal break-even price of $90 to $111 a barrel, was forced to unilaterally absorb production costs to defend global price floor. So Saudi Arabia was losing money in this war, apparently to help the global economy, and they're taking a big hit. In the first quarter of 2026, Saudi Arabia recorded a fiscal deficit of $33.5 billion, representing 76% of the kingdom planned deficit for the entire year. Saudi Aramco reported a free cash flow of $18.6 billion against a $21.82 billion dividend obligation, resulting in a sub 1x coverage ratio for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. Saudi Arabia now is facing a paramount structural vulnerabilities with unstable export gaps of over 3 million barrels a day. Uh, Forces 3 million. Yeah, there's a gap is over 3 million. Yes. Uh, to transit the Iranian dominated Strait of Hormuz. So Saudi Arabia needs to sell at least 3 million more barrels of oil to meet or help face their deficit. They're not selling oil at a profit. They're selling oil at a loss margin. The prices aren't helpful for OPEC. It's at $70 a barrel at the moment. And the Saudis are rethinking the relationship with the United States. Meanwhile, the UAE is growing closer. Now, if you look at the first Trump administration, this looks a little different. During the first Trump administration, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman did a grave mistake that has isolated him for years to come even after the Trump administration left. In September of 2018, Jamal Khashoggi entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul to get his wedding documents, only never to leave. The Saudis lied about what they have done. The Turkish government knew about it before it happened. They had a recording of what happened. And the recording was of Jamal Khashoggi being cut alive into pieces. The world went to shock. The investments plummeted. And Donald Trump came out and said, I'm not ending my relationship with Saudi Arabia for one mistake. That was the time when we started understanding what it really meant to put America first in Trump's perspective. He came out supporting a pariah that has conducted a crime while he was watching it live on a app like Zoom or Skype or something similar to that. The video says that the crown prince on the other end says, bring me his head. Apparently, to Trump, when Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman made his recent visit to Saudi Arabia and a journalist asked him about the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, he said he knew nothing of it. And why are you embarrassing our guests? Trump, Alzheimer's is really taking effect. It's taken effect on his previous allies and previous U.S. allies. He's slipping up, saying things he shouldn't have, destroying relationships that went for hundreds of years, attacking Oman for being mutual, as they always have been. Our oldest Middle Eastern ally that has been with us for 200 years. I published two articles this morning. I recommend you to go read it. They're free. Go read it before it has a paywall. Paywall comes in after a week, usually. So you have some time to read it. But I talk in great details about all of what I just mentioned and more. One of the articles has a documentary for you that can catch you up on a lot of the things that you don't know about. I know some of the speakers that spoke in that documentary, and I know that you will learn something from it. Yes, it was made by a Western media, but there are many good documentaries made by Western media, and there are many good journalists out there. Not all the media is bad media out there. There's some good. So this is one of the good ones. I strongly advise you to watch it and read it and come back to me. At this moment, I will go. I reach out to the sergeant from yesterday. Wasn't he a sergeant? What's his name? Uh, Mr. Uh, Matthew Wagner. I reached out to him and I asked if he would come to my podcast. I haven't heard back yet, but that would be cool. I'm trying to reach out to Philip DeFranco. We'll see what happens with that. Apparently, he's coming to the Twin Cities for a skit that he's doing or a bit that he's doing. So I'm excited about that. He's coming in September. I need to buy a ticket. Maybe I should buy a VIP ticket. Yeah, that maybe I should do that. Regarding your morning article, he was assassinated on March. One second. Hello. I got like 5 calls. I got five, six, 7 calls from the hospital. They want me to do a check in. So Ali is the Lirjani is assassinated was assassinated on March 17th. To your question, Teresa, regarding your article, is Lirjani still the Security Council person or has he changed position? He was assassinated. I'm okay. I just have a lot of medical issues and I've been getting treated. I've had staph infection in my right wrist. When I was attacked doing voter education for the November ballot in Kansas City, someone came out of their house, attacked me and my boss, and then I had a work comp doctor that was racist and purposely mistreated me and basically tortured me while I was being there. caused a staph infection, and I almost died because of it. Had an open wound for years, picking in and out, pick line twice, 10 surgeries on just my right wrist. So I've been, just struggling with just that. Uh, and no, the racist doctor was in Kansas City, but now I go to the Mayo Clinic. I see one of the best doctors in the world. He's really good to me. A lot of improvement happened, but I this is all my wrist move. That's it. Doesn't move more than that. And I'm grateful that there is some movement. That movement is helpful, but even that is painful sometimes. I try not to think about it. Um, oh, pushing is starting to get better. So we're getting somewhere. We're recovering from that. The injury was on September 6th of 2018, 5:55 p.m. I remember. So and then I was coming back to work and I wanted to do something fun. And so I just went to work at not flipping burgers. I was just helping tables because I found a burger place that I liked, but then they didn't take good care of me and I injured my shoulder. And the reason I went to a burger place because after you do 10 surgeries and you're just stepping in to go back to work, you want to do something that just breaks the routine. Like I just wanted to get something quick to break the routine, start getting my hand in and working. So I just like the first job was like, oh, I like this place. So I'm gonna go and see if they would hire me. They hired me, and I worked there for a few months. Close, no, I passed a year, and then I moved somewhere else. But it was really good way to break my habit of leaving the house and starting the routine. Um, but yeah, now I had a surgery on April 22nd on my left shoulder. So just recovering from all of that and having follow ups with this person and that person. It takes a lot of work. So we do depend on your support. You've seemed like you're carrying a lot lately. How are you really doing? I'm okay. World is on a heavy place. I'm still stressed about my rights and freedom speech in the U.S. I haven't had any luck about finding good lawyers to go to Canada, so I kind of gave up. Once, my college stuff went through, I was like, might as well just stick with it and go to school. But I'm risking it every day I'm here. I know that for sure. Um, and economy is getting hard. Everyone is struggling. Yeah. But I try not to complain, or at least I try not to complain to you guys. The world perilous is paralysis, sounding like thank you. That's helpful. Who do you have around you that can lean on right now and it would help to talk to someone? Yeah, I try to have my own circle. I appreciate you. Do I feel like I can be myself? The reason I'm here is because I can be myself. The fear is that is this going is what's happening here is going to change my ability to be who I am. The reality is the current administration, may God bless their soul and raise their and continue their life and give them all the blessings, right? This current administration has been taking people disabilities rights away, have been labeling queers and transgenders as potential suspects or suspects of being terrorists. They're labeling everyone that is out there disapproving of the government as Antifa, even though Antifa is not an organization. And the reality of the situation is that we came here to be able to practice our freedom of speech, freedom of uh, self expression, the freedom of religion to choose what faith you want or not choosing a faith if you want. And it feels like every day there are attempts to take those rights away. Founding fathers said, if you can keep it. And I wonder every day if we can keep it. And on one hand, I ask myself, what would I be if I would run away when people need to keep it? So there's a lot of thoughts. I do have family in Saudi Arabia. So the war also puts, stress on that. Am I safe in the United States? Well, I am a target of the Saudi government. I do have a death penalty. I have a death sentence for being the first openly queer person from Saudi Arabia and for being openly atheist, or for being an ex-Muslim, if you want to call it, or non-practicing Muslim. So all of that makes me a target for the Saudi government. The Saudi government publicly has told me in front of hundreds of people on a live stream on Twitter that yes, they know who I am. They keep their eyes on me and they see what I do and where I go. And the reality is the Trump administration has the right to revoke people's asylum and revoke people's green card. They're also making it impossible for anyone to apply for a citizenship or a green card at the moment. And if you have any mistakes on these documents at the moment, you are immediately denied. Usually they allow you to fix mistakes that's written on these documents because they're complicated. Well, the administration is finding any tool possible to reject these applications. The administration was quite pissed off about the fact that the Supreme Court says that you can, if you're born here, you can become a citizen. Uh, so, yeah, there's a lot on my mind. There's a lot happening, preparing for college, preparing for school, uh, doing the podcast, following up with my health keeps me very busy. But if I'm being honest, one of my greatest community that I have now, and one of my pride and joy is the community I have cultivated here on Substack. Everyone that comes here every day, that shows up, everyone that is excited to learn and make a difference, that really inspires me. That really, you know, puts hope in my heart. I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, we're doing another lesson, we're doing another education, we're taking another step to help make this world a better place. So yes, um, this is not over. We're not going anywhere, and the community that we have cultivated here that is so motivated and so interested in actually learning is alone a very nice community to have. So I'm very grateful for everyone that's been showing up. I'm grateful for everyone that has asked for a membership on the house. I'm grateful for all the people that have becoming monthly members, yearly members, the ones that have become VIPs, the ones that are supporting me outside of Substack. A lot of people have showed a lot of love and support. So, no, I'm very grateful for your support. And it is you guys that have been keeping this work that I do alive. So don't undermine yourself. Don't underestimate your value. Every one of you is a piece of this project, and every one of you is an actor that makes a difference in their society. I'm sure some of you are actively considering who they should nominate instead of the current nominees that we have. I'm sure some of you are considering if they should nominate themselves and run for office at some point. I'm sure some of you are looking to create your own community coalition. Some of you are trying to figure out how to become grassroots organizers. So yes, I'm quite proud of the community that we have cultivated. We had some incidents of some people being anti-Semitics. We kicked them out. If there are any anti-Semitics out there or racist or someone that's pushing, the uh, you being uncomfortable, let me know. We'll work that out. Also, the message here is to reach out to people that we disagree with. The message here is to, in a way, get out, not in a way, get out of our comfort zone. Have the conversations that we don't want to have. When you are sitting down with a person, this person is telling you or having a conversation, and the thought that comes to your mind, God damn it, I really don't want to have this conversation. This sounds really annoying. I have that too. But then I have to think, is this conversation, because some conversations are really not worth having, worth really leaving and stepping aside. Yes, I will not deny you that. But you also have to consider which conversations you could get out of and have both sides go, I may not have agreed with everything this person says, but I've learned a thing or two. To me, that's enough. To me, that's enough. A wise person takes the knowledge and leaves whatever that they don't agree on. It's like reading books. But when you do that, you soften people's hearts. And the only way you win people over is with respect, is by winning people's hearts, is having dinners and inviting them over. We always say in Arabia, don't have an agreement before dinner. You feed the tummies, you fill you fill their thirst, you take care of any hangriness they have. You give them fragrances, you calm the situation, You put the frankincense in the room. You bring the oud and the bakhur and the incense. Why do you do all of that? You do grounding. You center the conversation. You try to control the whole mood. So when you have a dialogue, no one is intense. There's a strategy. There's techniques. There's way to do this. Could it be done? Yes. But that's the wisdom of our Arabia. That's our Arabian wisdom. When you want to do something like that, you fill people's tummies. In my apartment building right now, where my husband and I were doing monthly, neighbors dinner for our apartment building. We have quite an apartment building. So we are planning to invite everyone over. We're planning to have people grab their food. I might, order Cadoba and stuff. Why do I do that? Why do I need to do that? How do I know who my neighbor is? How do I know if this person needs help or not? Even though I'm an ex-Muslim, Prophet Muhammad said you're responsible to the 10th or 5th, no, to the 10th neighbor. You as a person, you count how far your neighbors are, all the way to your 10th neighbor. That is your responsibility to check on them, make sure they're fine. Holiday season, you give them stuff. You see if they practice their own holidays, you honor their own holidays. Look, that is just being a neighbor. That's just being a community. That's just creating the basic trust that everyone needs. That's how you create these coalitions. Rukunta. By the way, Abba Kabar, Krabby knows what I'm talking about. Abba Kabar, Kabar Bayik. You are wise beyond your years. Oh, thank you. I take that wisdom from my grandpa. I always, Salamat alaikum. But yeah, you can do more. And believe it or not, again, I'm not a practicing Muslim, but I learned a lot of wisdom also from the religious studies. The Prophet said, Sayyidul Qawmi Khadimuhum, not the leader, the master of the people. Sayyid, sir, the master, the leader of the leaders of the people is the servant of the people. If you're not out helping other people, serving them, finding out what they need, seeing who else could help them, connecting the dot from one person to another, that is the leader. Someone that is serving, helping, pulling the rope with others, stopping aside when someone is fixing their tire on the road when you have us extra minutes and you're not a rush. You're not going to your doctor's appointment. You're not going to a hospital. You can take a minute and stop. If you have a water bottle, if you have a lunch with you, you see a homeless person, you stop. That is the leader. In our perspective, that is what we call a leader. Not everyone is a leader. which is okay. But these people who take a minute and stop and serve, these are the individuals that we want to serve in our government. Republican, conservative, liberal, Democrat, social democrat. I want to see people who are wanting to serve. I don't want people just sitting behind a goddamn desk not doing nothing. I see a lot of people behind desks doing a lot of work. Yes, you can do. I do a lot of work sitting on a desk and sitting on a chair. Yes, you can do a lot of work, but I want people serving. I want people organizing. I want people meeting. I want people going out, finding out what's going on. That is the actually like you listen to Malcolm Nance every day. You know what is the most important intel? Yeah, intelligence agents. I'm not intelligence agents, but they find out. Oh, what is going on in my neighbor? What is going on with where's ICE coming? Where's ICE leaving? Oh, did they take someone from my neighborhood this week? Oh shoot. Is your neighbor okay? Is that's not a problem. I talked a lot about that. I can move on. Why did kamikaze pilots wear helmet? Mostly according to Google, to protect them from noise, extreme cold, and the wind. They still need to reach their goal. If it's too noisy, too cold, they have to get there at least. I am okay. I'm okay as I can be. You guys have been very supportive, and to me, that means a lot. Um, to Greg, thank you for asking. In 1989, an unmanned Soviet MiG 23 flew about 900 kilometers across Europe before crashing in Belgium. What does that tell us about air defense ability to handle unidentified objects in peacetime? You see, back in 1989, the technology is not as good as now. But even with the technology that's good as now, and during a war, Iran is still finding ways to bypass these radar systems. And the only way the U.S. government is actually able to take them down is by shooting at them with missiles or flying our F-15 on the sky that come with their own bodyguards that flies behind the F-16. They're also, I think, they're F-14s. I forgot, but they are jammers. So you have air fighters and then you have jammers, and the jammer job is to go and find the drone and hit it with such a directional, strong wavelengths that disables the uh, drone from receiving any directions from whoever is sending that drone. And then the F-15 would follow that drone, shoot at it with a missile, or go the old school and shoot at it with the bullets. So that's how they are taking down these drones. If they are using some of the missiles that we have on the ships, we're basically targeting $50,000 drone with multi-million-dollar to $10 million, missiles, which is really bad economic deal for a war. F-18 Owl. Thank you. Are there any other questions? I will bring this closer so I can see your questions and comments. Hello. Growler. Crab, you seem like you know a lot about this. Oh shit. I haven't published my video yet. I need to continue. Yes. My live stream from this morning is up. 9:39. Wow. It was ready by 9:39. You're an old spear carrier. I hope they gave you a military pilot watch. I know the divers got really nice watches, Tudors and Rolexes back in the day. And if you have a Tudor that you don't want and it was a military watch from the US government, send it my way. Or if you have a military watch that you don't want, send it my way. I do have a forwarding address now, so everything should be sent to directly to me, and I will get it. But for real, he says only coins. Well, coins. Are you talking about the coins that you trade with different soldiers? Well, some of the coolest watches are the watches that you cannot buy. The Tudor I'm telling you about was made by Rolex. So on here, it would say Tudor, but on the crown, it would have the Rolex crown. What is a spear carrier? The one you get for doing a nice job. I thought some of the pilots just got one for becoming pilots back in the day. And some divers just got one because they became divers. I thought that's how it was. But if you are lucky to buy any military, some people go out of their way and they find these warehouses where you can buy military warehouses. And if you're lucky and you buy the right military warehouse and you open the boxes and one of the boxes just have a whole bunch of these tutors that were supposed to be given away because there's supposedly a lot of these, tutor watches hanging out somewhere in warehouses that we don't know where at. But if you're lucky and you end up buying some of these military warehouses and one of them has these tutor watches, oh, good Lord, you'll instantly be a millionaire. Or you'll have a six figure. You probably at least have six figures. Yeah. You see? Crab knows what I'm talking about. I also love going thrifting. I'm that type of person. I was able to find carpets. Um, oh, more than thrifting, I like to go into estate sales, especially like estate sales in the US for big houses, like uh, some nice houses. I was able to buy a couch that was owned by a baseball player the at the Royals once, and I used it until I got destroyed it and threw it away. I found a couple carpets that I bought for 10 and 20 and 30 and $40 that are worth multi a couple $1,000 each. And yeah, it's just if you know what you're looking at and you're thrifting, if you ever going to thrift shopping in Minnesota, come to me. Help me out. I'll help you out. We can work out a deal. I do like thrifting. But the problem with thrifting is you have to hold yourself from not collecting everything. How did I destroy a couch? From laying on it after the surgery for a couple of years. For a couple of years, that was all I was sitting on, and after a while, it was destroyed. But yeah, it was owned by it was apparently it was custom made for this Royals player, and after I bought it, the person sold it to me. Didn't tell me before I bought it, but they came to me afterwards, and they're like, "You know who used to own this?" I'm like, "No," and she's like, "It was this person," and I'm like, I don't know who that is. She's like, "Oh my god, he's a Royals. He's in the Royal baseball team." And I'm like, I'm not familiar with all of that." But it was comfortable until it wasn't. Had duck fur, like it was filled with uh, duck feathers. That's how you know it's really luxury. When everything is filled with duck feathers. Oh, and they were so heavy, pulling it out and having it was so heavy. See other questions? Are there any other questions, y'all? Always go thrifting in the wealthiest neighborhoods. Yes, absolutely. That's how I got some of my best Wustov knives. I found some Wustov knives for two, three, $4. You know, as long as you get products that are the best for cheap, you're not missing out. And also, there's something nice about knowing that you did not have to consume more products in this world in order to gain this new thing. Like, there's something nice about going to a thrift store, knowing what you're looking for, and finding, a knife that's worth $200, $300, and going like, oh, I can get that for $2, and I'm not wasting more resources from this planet. Why not? It sounds like a win-win to me. So, especially if you know what you're looking for, do your homework. If you don't know what you're looking for, find a friend that is in a thrifting community. Some of these people who sell thrifting would be happy to take people under their wing and show them. I had a friend of mine in Kansas City. She is from Taiwan, and she would take me around and she would tell me, bring her like lenses and tell me, you see these dots in this picture? That means it's printed, it's not drawn. Some printed is worth money, some printed is not worth money. And she will explain to you. And then she'll have she was just amazing. So, and if you don't have that, there's a lot of people out there giving content teaching you about how to identify silver from non-silver. Have a magnet with you, have a blue light with you, have a uh, have a magnifier. And those are your main tools when you go to a thrift store. When you look at the carpet, if the carpet feathers look too far apart, most likely that is a made out of uh, polyester. But if the carpet is very, 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 you know, thin and tight to each other, and it's that's wool. And if it's it's very thin but connected but not too heavy, that's probably silk. So you get to start knowing and to understand. Always flip the carpet over. The carpet, when you flip it over, you have a lot of information on it. People who work on a carpet for years or months, they want their name on it. They're signing it like a signature. They will tell you where it was made, who made it, where it was from, whether it was stitched on it or whether it's printed. And it tells you a lot of times if it's made by Western, if it standards. A lot of times, some of them put stamps where it was made, who made it, what the quality is. So uh, you can buy used stuff, and you can buy artisan made things that are just hanging out on the shelves at some of these thrift stores, and no one knows what the fuck they are. May I send you a private message? Yes, you may. Everyone is welcome to send me a message. Master of sarcasm. Arabs really like being sarcastic. Yeah. That's just we like over exaggerating things as well. You like glass made out, is that the one that glows made out of uranium? So I'm saying I like green fit in glass is a favorite of mine. Yeah. That's why you grab the blue light, because you can identify the green glass that's made by uranium versus green glass that's not made by uranium. Also, one other thing that you need to grab with you when you go is a lead tester. There's an ink thing that, or a drop that you can have. A lead tester. Many cups out there being sold, many plates out there being sold that have lead in them. And if you buy it used and you don't know if it's uh, you don't know if it's who made it, or if you don't know if it's food grade. Until today, Walmart and Target and some places, they will put things on the shelf that are supposed to be food safe that have lead on them. So having a lead tester on these glass equipment is very, very important. People will buy them thinking it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing I ever bought. And they will start using them for food, and not a good idea. You don't want to have lead in your body. Yes, some are radioactive. That's right. I don't know how we drifted into thrift shopping, but we did drift into thrift shopping. I apologize if you came in here looking for political analysis and somehow we changed the topic. Um, Again, I'm not finding any. Oh, here you go. I was walking at a nearby park recently, and they were going to throw away plants. Got free plants. Yeah. Uh, I should text my friend Justice today and see if we can schedule with something with her soon. Not Justice, not Justice from Substack. Justice, my mentor, the grassroots organizer from Missouri. Good morning. Could you please send me your calendar so we can schedule something? Or do you need me to help you set up the Substack? All right. I just reached out as a follow up. Might as well do things on the spot so I don't forget about it after the podcast. I did reach out to Deborah Amos again. We are talking. She just got back from giving a training at where was she? Deborah Amos is a former NPR journalist and basically a news junkie. Uh, Became an academic, used to teach at Columbia University. Now she is teaching at Princeton journalism. And I want to invite her over to do some, to talk about a few things. Jamal Khashoggi, she knew Jamal Khashoggi personally. Uh, and maybe give some base. She does a lot of journalistic training, like how to be a journalist and courses and certificates. So I just wonder if she can give like some basic tools and maybe introduce some of her classes or trainings that you guys could sign up for in order to be better equipped on fact checking, better equipped about finding the information that you need, how where the sources of these news and information come from. How can you become an investigative reporter? All of these are like good questions that I think is worth asking to a renowned journalist and academic like Deborah Amos. That would be really nice to have. So we're still in talking. We're still figuring that out. I apologize that everything has taken a little minute, but working with people's schedule is just it is it's working with people's schedules. So I appreciate everyone that has been waiting for these trainings. Uh, yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Again, if you see some speakers that you think I should talk to, let me know who they are. I'll reach out to them. If you know them or if you know personally these speakers, reach out to them, have them reach out to me. We'll figure it out. I'm happy to collaborate. I want to collaborate. I'm looking for people to work with. So you know the opportunity is there, and we're figuring that out. But in the meantime, we're still doing my daily articles. I hope that you had a chance to look at my morning articles from this morning. Published two, one about Trump relationship directly with MBS, and the other article is analyzing the war and how the Trump decision making has resulted in the division between the Saudis, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and Donald Trump. So very good information. Um, there was a topic I was gonna investigate. What was it? Yes, the I'm going to write an article about the UAE Saudi conflict. Speaking of conflict in the United Arab Emirates, I also have published an article in the last few days talking about the secret war no one is talking about, the secret genocide in Africa that no one has heard of, the war in Sudan that is done and funded by the United Arab Emirates. If you're interested in finding out how gold, crypto, drones, power, and politics are involved in South Sudan and the United Arab Emirates, go for it. Read that article before it gets behind a paywall. If you're a paid subscriber, you should be able to have access to it, no problem. Again, not again. Actually, speaking of subscription, if you haven't considered becoming a paid subscriber, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. Our membership is only $5 a month or $30 a year. The VIP membership is around $1,000 a month, but $1,000 a year. I apologize, but that is also uh, depending on how much it's flexible a little bit. I made it flexible so people that want to give more but don't want to give 1,000, they can do so. Uh, but that's the VIP list. And then you have your yearly subscription for 30 and then the monthly subscription for $5. Very affordable. I understand that many people have different multiple subscriptions and cannot afford everyone else's subscription. So I try to make it as affordable as possible. If you can't afford it, that's okay. Come to me. I have a link that is will give you a 6-month trial. If that link doesn't work, I'm happy to personally add your account in the system through my end so you get a subscription on the house. Thank you. Someone just joined. Crab, you have a good one. Thank you for coming. My phone is actually about to die. Before my phone dies, I'd like to say, as Philip DeFranco always says, you may not fuck with politics, but politics will always fuck with you. Please be safe. Please be aware. Pray for the people in Venezuela. Pray for this war to be over. If you're religious, uh, do something about it. Run for office. Call your representatives and senators. Vote for removing the establishment. Let's do something about it. We still have a chance to do something about it. Don't give up hope. Recruit your fellow US citizens, regardless of their ideology. Don't think that ideology is the thing that is holding us back. Remember, it is a class war that is holding us all back. Like, subscribe, and share. As always, ma salama, bye bye. Bil Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow.